Oh. So you're in it? Oh. Well, I feel like I'm underwater. Wow, it's really quiet.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
It looks like you're just hopping off, doing your bike.
Wait, what do I do? What do I do? Nothing. I can still hear you. Okay. Wow, this is like, you know what? It's like walking into a quiet room, like a soundproofing room. Man, I could sleep. I could sleep like this. Take a nap. What did you say? Well, not as mine. Okay. Sorry, ladies. Hi.
Hi.
I promise I'm paying attention to you. Well, I wasn't paying attention to you guys right then, so I can pay attention to you guys now. Welcome to the recon. Who's all in here, by the way? Oops. Oh,
Hmm?
sorry, I'm not working with my normal. Oh, I'm on your. Oh, Ryan has a lady's voice today. Okay.
Did you smoke something funny this afternoon?
No, I don't know. It was like, oh, we should probably get this all set up, and then I'm not using any of my gear. I'm using all Ryan's gear, and
Oh, I see. Okay.
it's a little weird. His headphones make me feel like I'm underwater. Hi, Emily. Hi, MJ. Chantel.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Alrighty, let's get going. This is so smooth. Hi, Lynn.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. I'm good. Okay, awesome.
I am viewing you guys, by the way. I'm not riding, so I just want to
Good
hear
choice.
what's going on.
Good choice.
And Jillian saying, if for some reason I come off of mute, you got to tell me.
Okay.
Because I got to put this in my pocket while I go around and make dinner. But if I'm like talking to other people, not you guys, just yell at me. Tell me.
Talking to the audience. Good. Okay, so we just passed the start pens, I think. Pretty sure, I hope those are the start pens. Okay, just got confirmation that start pens. So the first, was it the Marina Sprint?
Yeah, Marina Sprint
Marina
is coming
Sprint.
up.
That one's like what? I think it's less than a kilometer in. Whoa.
700 meters I just saw.
Okay. I should know this. I just wrote this all down this morning for the team. So, but I have not been thinking about Zwift all day. It would be right behind this right hand. You're coming up on the right hand. Okay. Wait, a right hand turn? Yeah. So this right hand turn? Oh. So you go past this is like an axle turn. Oh. And then the road bends right. Marina Sprint starts at that right. Can y'all hear that?
Yes.
Not ready.
Okay, so I'll say it again. So we're coming up on a kind of a sweeping right hand turn. It's not the right hand turn that we just passed.
No, it's this one.
Yeah, it's this one. So here's your sprint beacon. Pretty much to stay. It depends. So it kind of depends on what your goals are for the race. But everyone needs to essentially sprint through this if they want to stay with the group.
This is going to be brutal to start, right? Like, it's going to be crazy shit.
And yes, yeah, it's going to be insane. So you have to sprint through the first time just to stay with the group. And then that's considered the lead-in thing.
Yes.
And then on your second lap, you also have to sprint through there because that one counts for points. But on your final lap, so like as you're finishing the course,
Still counts for the sprint, just not for the segment points. It's the finish.
yeah. So it's not segment points. It's just it's finish points. So does that make sense? Did I just talk in circles for you guys? Essentially, right out of the pens, sprint through the marina sprint. There are point opportunities available.
You can still get fastest through the second on the third time. On the third time through, you can still get fastest through the segment. You can't get first across the line. So if you wanted to go, if you're completely out of points and you want to just rip that sprint for the fastest through, you can still do that the last time through.
I think I heard about half of what you said. Sorry. Wait, so this one's a word. Say it closer to me. Ow!
First two times through are fastest, or first across the line and fastest through the second.
Right.
Every time through is fastest through the second. So even if you're using it for the finish line sprint, you can still get fastest through the second.
Oh.
So you want to sprint it every time. You just won't necessarily get first across the line.
Yeah, first across the line every time.
You're getting finishing points instead.
Okay. All right, makes sense. Wait, how do I get this back in my ear? Oh. I feel like a dinosaur. It's like I've never used a piece of technology before. Okay, so then afterwards, after the race sprint's completed, and like I said, it kind of depends on your goal for the race. If you're trying to stay with that front pack, it's gonna be hard. But try and use this next section up until the pave. I think it's the pave sprint. To get used to the race pace. Your legs are going to be in a little bit of a shock. So try and sit in the group. Don't put your nose in the wind. Kind of same old, same old. You kind of hear, every time there's just kind of a flat rolling section of the course.
So is it a 42K race? Or is it?
For the A's and B's, it's 46.9, and for the C's, I do not remember for the C's, but it's a lap and a half.
35.7.
It's like 35.
35.7.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
yeah. So 35.7 if you're a C, so that's Agawads and Blaze, and then if you're a B and an A, you're doing 2 laps.
The C's are going to finish right after the Petit KOM on the second lap. The aqueduct climb, the smaller.
The aqueduct.
Oh, the
Yeah.
aqueduct.
Yeah,
Okay.
the aqueduct. Sorry,
Okay.
the small, the shorter one.
I was like, that's pretty much 2 laps.
No, sorry, I got my. But
Yeah.
basically, the aqueduct climb. It's just after the banner that we finished for the C's and the D's.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
36 and a half.
Yeah, that's not a bad distance. So, since you guys would be finishing there, you don't necessarily have to pace yourselves as well as if you were going for both KOMs. The big KOMs, the petit. So, I'm trying to think what would be the most. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to race as conservatively because you're only doing that big KOM one time. And then you go down your descent, you can basically slam into that marina sprint again. And then, if you're off the front, you can probably stay off the front if you wanted to. Or, you know, when the group comes back to you, just sit into the group till the pave sprint. And then, depending on what you want to go for, if you want to go for sprint points, or if you're far enough in the front, you could go for first across the line points for the KOM and the finish. Then you don't have to, you know, sit in the pack as long as, say, the B ladies, because you're not doing that second KOM. You can just kind of empty your tank at the pave sprint and then aqueduct for the finish. Does that make sense?
Sorry, how long is aqueduct?
The aqueduct is...
It should be about 45
It's like,
seconds. It's
yeah.
not long.
Yeah, it's 900 meters only.
900 meters?
Yep. Okay, and Petitcom?
That one is...
I don't know. A couple of kilometers.
It's like 2.7.
It's very long, no?
2.7. Ryan, do you know how... Oh, he walked away. Well, dang it.
Anyway, this is the longest, right? Petitcom?
Yes, that's at KOM.
I think it's like 5 kilometers or something like this.
It's about...
It's 2.7.
Yeah, I think it's not super long. Yeah, 2.7. That sounds about right.
With an average of 4%.
Oh, that's not bad at all. 4%, 2.7. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's not a killer. It's not really
No, it's
steep
good.
at any point. It's just draggy a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, depends on what is your watt. Because it can be killing.
Yeah, I guess if you feel like it's not that hard, maybe you're not pushing hard enough.
But it's not a leg breaker like
It's not a
New York that's like at 18%.
Right.
That's what I'm saying is it's not one of those really like brutal climbs at 18% that you do like 100 meters over 3 minutes.
Because it's like a sprint, so all the girls will sprint there. So it's very hard because they sprint. So they go 5-6 watts per kilo.
Where is that? Where are you saying that is? Petit or?
I think the girl will go 5-6 watts a kilo in Petitcom.
Yeah. So, and that's the beast. So one of the beast strategy is, so for example, MJ and Natalie, since you two are strong enough to stay in the front group and make attacks in the front group, you two are going to hit the bottom of that petit KOM really hard, because all of the girls, hopefully, if the strategy works out how we're planning it, hopefully all of the girls who will have just tried to catch you on the chase, they'll be tired, but you two will not have been working quite as hard. And since you and Natalie are two of our best climbers, then you two can you can set the pace high at the start of the KOM. Then as people start to drop off the back, then you can settle into your race pace climb. So it feels less like a sprint. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but the 2 times I did the course, the girls, the 10 girls in front or 15 girls, fucking hot, like, you cannot go faster than them, I think.
With faster than who?
Yeah, they're really fast. I mean, I don't think I can beat them.
Well, but you could if they're tired. And that's the whole,
Yes,
that's the strategy.
exactly.
That's the strategy that we're going to be playing.
Yeah, so if they push on each sprint at their maximum,
Right.
yeah, maybe.
Then they're going to be tired. But you two won't be pushing. You two aren't going for sprint points. You two are going for KOM and first across the line points.
Okay, so we just will hit a little bit harder in Petitcom.
Yes.
Okay.
But the KOM so first across the line, right? Point.
Say it one more time. Say it again.
Like the KOM are all fastest across the first across the line. It's not fastest through segment, right?
For Petit, it is fastest through and it's first across the line. And then for Aqueduct,
Okay.
Only first across the line.
Okay.
So this is kind of the fast flowing. I don't want to use the term easy because it's probably not going to be easy. But just make sure you're trying to stay relaxed with the race pace. It might be quick. It probably won't be as quick as, say, last week because everybody will be anticipating that KOM and the pave sprint. And everyone will probably just have gassed themselves or shocked their legs a little bit from the marina sprint. So unless you have, a group of girls who are maybe thinking about making a break for it, I would expect the pace to be pretty appropriate and not outrageously hard. Ooh, there's a castle.
So the next sprint is in about 3 kilometers.
It's going to be at, yeah, I think you're right.
At 11.7 kilometers.
Yep, 11.7.
And it's short.
Yes.
It's very short.
I don't have an estimated time, but we could probably guess when we go through it because guesswork is so professional.
So usually the girls will begin to sprint how many seconds before you see the green line on the floor?
That I'm not entirely sure of that, to be honest. Just because historically I haven't usually gone for sprints, but I would say maybe at least 6 or 7 seconds, because if you think you want to have enough speed going through, but then you have that 3-second time delay from Zwift. That's a good question.
Yeah. So plus moins 5 seconds.
About 5 seconds?
And if it's a sprint final, it's about, I never know. Like to end the ride. I always begin too early.
Wait, say that one more time, MJ.
If it's a sprint final, like for the end of the race,
Uh-huh.
like I want to go like 1 minute before.
Okay.
But I'm dead.
Okay, see that makes sense since it's the finish one. But I don't know for the segment ones. I don't know what.
I think it's like around the 0.3 kilometer. I think. Anyway, you follow the girls, but it's good to know when they're gonna move. Because you're so tired at this point. You need to know. Like I think it's 0.3, 0.4, 0.2 kilometer.
Okay. Ryan, do you know when is an appropriate time to start basically ramping up your power for a sprint? Like before a sprint? Either distance or time?
Anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds out, depending on how hard you are hitting. Don't push 10 seconds.
Did anybody hear that?
Yep.
Okay.
You want to be positioned near the front.
So, first thing is you want to be positioned near the front. And then, depending on how hard people are hitting the sprint, you're going to want to start ramping up your power 5 to 10 seconds before your beacon. Yeah, for about, how many seconds? 10 to 20? 10 to 20 second sprint.
It's a 20-second sprint, 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah. Which I think that's how, I want to say that about how long Pave is.
And I think also it's just practice, like practice, and you can feel the other girls and yeah.
Yeah, and a good idea to do, or during the race, I mean, if you have the concentration available, is watch the rider list on your right side, because you'll start seeing people picking up the pace, and then just to stay, even if you're not contesting the sprint, just to stay with them, you're going to want to start ramping up the power when they do. And if you're, man, I'm out of breath. And if you're, I'm not even going hard. If you are contesting the sprint, then, I totally lost my train of thought. Sorry, ladies. It'll come back to me in a sec. Give me a minute. Oh, okay, I remembered. If you are contesting the sprint, don't plateau your power as you see people picking it up, because you need to keep accelerating if you're going for either first across the line, depending on where you are, or fastest through.
I didn't understand that.
So, in order to, I think I've told the bees a couple times, MJ, so even if you're not going for the sprint points in a sprint, you have to sprint so that you stay with the group, right?
Yes.
So if you're not contesting the sprint, eventually your power will just plateau. So it will, you won't need to accelerate anymore because you'll be with the group. You'll be staying with the group. And then everybody's power will back down because everyone is through the sprint. But if you are contesting the sprint, if you're going for sprint points, you don't want to feel like your power stays within the limit of the power of the group. You have to keep accelerating so that you get through the group and across the line first. Does that make sense?
Maybe.
Essentially, you just have to go with the group.
Yeah, but
if you're
like I told you, the 10 first girl, they are very good in sprinting. All of them.
Yeah, and that's fine, but you have to remember that they're using a lot of their energy to go for the sprint, and you're not. You're just following in their draft. So then they're using all their energy to go for the sprint. You're just following them, so you have energy to pick the pace back up after the sprint.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
I guess the strongest girl will be the ones that can recuperate as fast as un éclair. I don't know in English. What I mean is, because there's a lot of sprints.
I'll say that's right. The person, like some of the best riders are going to be the ones who can either recover at the fastest or who can recover at a higher pace.
Exactly.
So, yeah. That's like rule number 1 of Zwift racing. Learn to recover at race pace.
Yeah, because they're also endurance. And this is different. This is like long term.
what?
Well, like, the other thing you need is on the entrance, but this is very different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like fast-paced endurance.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like your normal endurance would go much slower.
But just instead of endurance at endurance tempo, it's endurance at.
Okay, there's a sprint.
Yeah.
And
So the
aerobic.
sprint's coming up. Right here. So as you're rounding this corner, ladies, you need to be picking up the pace. Ooh, MJ's going for it.
Okay, second pace, second sprint.
So this is our second sprint right here
Okay.
at the cobbles.
0.7.
Is it just the bridges? Is that the indicator? Or is there supposed to be like a line on the floor or something?
It's just that. Did you see that little beacon on the right-hand side? That little glowy beacon with the little green box in front of it? That's your start line. So
okay. I never looked at those. Okay.
Yeah. Now that we pointed them out, I'll point out the KOMs. They're the same thing. They're just red.
What was there? 300 meters. This one.
This one.
Where do they? Where do
Yeah,
you
it wasn't long. 130 meters.
It's 0.33 kilometers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where you. Okay, I just learned.
Yeah. So it should say over on the
Left.
I don't know why no one's name showing up.
Well, I can see my name. Maybe it's just that it's a meetup.
Maybe. I don't. Yeah, I say normally it has a list of all the riders, but currently it just says I'm the only one who ever did it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so as you approach that right-hand turn, you'll want to start picking up the pace. When you're at the cobbles, you should already be sprinting. And as a reminder, I guess it's about 11.7 kilometers. The kilometers in the meetup right now are not the correct race kilometers because we do not start where the pens are. So the meetup kilometers or miles, because Jillian just learned that Zwift can go in miles today. They can give you a ballpark, like an estimation about where they are, but they're not the actual race distances.
So always looking at that map, top right.
Yeah. So give it that map, that little map in the upper right-hand corner. That'll give you a good heads up on what's coming. Things tend to show up, they come up a little quicker than you think they will. But it's a good little...
Okay, so I can see the bridge up ahead now.
Yeah, so you can see the top of the KOM.
Right.
And the KOM actually starts at the the third squiggle. We'll see. We'll get there. Sorry, I'm falling behind again. This seems lovely. Say hello to the people. Hi, people. Bye, people. Sometimes it's helpful to pick out little, like course markers to help you remember what's coming up. For example, you could note that by the people is the start for the KOM. Kirsten, here's your KOM start line.
Oh, right.
So
and then the hoop is the end.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
So
right, okay.
Yep, it's always the glowing beacon for the start and the finish line. It always looks like a balloon banner to me. So the banner is your finish. And this is not a long segment. So if you're going for points, first across the line points, Give it all you got.
This climb really starts 500 meters before that red beacon, at least.
Say it one more time,
Yeah,
Alexandra.
that the climb to this, it starts at least 500
Yes.
meters before that beacon. So you only
Yeah.
have 5 degrees, sloping up and down.
Yeah, that's a good point, Alessandra. The climb.
The actual climb is 900 meters, really, when you think about it.
Yep.
It's 389 for the segment, but it's 100 and some, in total it's 900, really, what you're doing.
Are you watching it? That's what I sound like? I'm so sorry. No,
You're good. Okay. You're good. The one we just did.
I got a funny sounding voice. Yeah, so just to reiterate what Alessandra said, the climb is actually closer to a kilometer, but the segment starts like, what, about halfway through that?
No, it's actually almost one. It's 389 meters, the segment, or something like that.
It's 0.4,
But the actual
yeah.
climb is 900 meters.
Yeah, so you're going to feel like you're climbing before you ever hit the segment.
Yep.
And then you'll hit the segment and you climb even harder. And then you have a nice descent. It's a pretty quick descent, but a little bit of recovery. Keep your legs spinning, a couple deep breaths, get some fuel in you. And then you have
If you have the anvil, this is a great time to use it.
Yep.
Because you're going downhill and because there's a lot less drafts in through the squiggles, so you can actually lose a group and gain something.
I think if you have it, this is where people are gonna break off.
Yeah, this is where it's gonna blow apart.
Exactly here.
So did you say arrow?
Mm-hmm.
use the
Did you say arrow?
The anvil.
Anvil. What's that?
That is like a dead weight to bring you down.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Yeah, so the 3 power-ups for this race are the burrito, so the non-drafting burrito. You could use that through a sprint. You could use it up a KOM, so no one can draft you.
The van.
Then there's is it the drafting van? Yes. Yeah, so then there's the drafting van.
There's the van and the anvil.
Yes, the burrito,
Anvil.
the anvil, and the van. And
the anvil is useful.
The anvil will make you sink like a rock. And whatever
Don't
you do,
ever use
do not use it on an uphill.
Yeah, don't use it unless you are going down and it's seriously down.
Yes.
Okay.
Think of like an anchor.
Right, got you.
Straight to the bottom of the ocean.
The van will help you
before.
out if you're in the sprint. You can, like, if you're kind of behind in the sprint, you can sort of use the van to your advantage and then, like, a last push at the end.
Mm.
And the burrito, well, that just makes you undraftable. So that's also good in a sprint. If you've got your nose in the wind.
And you don't have a load of what's behind you.
yeah, don't do it if you've got everyone behind you.
Yeah, don't
How long does it last, the anvil? Because you want to make sure the hill is long enough, right?
The anvil is 30 seconds.
30. And it's insanely powerful.
Yeah.
I used it in a race, and I was at 90 kilometers an hour. And I actually won the race because of that, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where would you use it on here?
The anvil?
Yeah.
You could use it on your petit descent. You
Oh,
could use
yeah,
it
right.
on the... You could probably use it on the KOM descent, or the aqueduct descent, if you're kind of falling behind a group.
Yeah.
Do they know how to discard? Do they know how to discard?
Do you guys know how to discard power-ups?
Yes.
No. How?
Okay, well, for those of you who said no.
Yep.
On the companion.
Oh, yeah, you could do it on the companion app.
Jillian, have you been drinking?
No, I'm really tired. No, I'm like trying to listen to Ryan, who's telling me things, but I can barely hear him.
It's okay. I'm just teasing you.
You actually can do it on your desktop or the companion app.
How do you do it on the
How do you do it on the desktop? Yep.
Wait, no,
If
how?
you, yeah, if you click the space bar